Oh, honey, grab your popcorn. Yellowstone, with its Wild West drama and family feuds, is the talk of the town, and it's given us some unforgettable, jaw-dropping moments. It's where love, betrayal, and high-stake battles come to play. Let's dive into the most watched, most gasped at moments in Yellowstone history. Let us begin with the totally shocking first episode from Yellowstone's second season. It was one wild ride, so John Dutton, played by our fave Kevin Costner, got back to the ranch after a crazy day of trying to save his land from the nasty Beck brothers, and he walks into a full-blown drama fest. His daughter Beth, who's all fire and spice, was like, "You won't believe what Jamie did." Jamie, by the way, is John's son. Beth shows John this crazy interview Jamie did with a reporter, Sarah Nguyen. Jamie, the sneaky guy, went and blabbed all the family's dirty laundry, even the real dark stuff. He talked about covering up a murder and how his dad, John, was pulling the political strings like a puppet master. And then, hold your horses, he says he's running for Attorney General himself. John was so mad. He looked like he was about to explode. He went into Jamie's room and dragged him outside, and then, bam, bam, bam! John was throwing punches at Jamie like there was no tomorrow. All the while, the ranch crew watched. It was insane. He called Jamie a traitor and a coward and told him he wasn't his son anymore. Yep, he kicked him out and told him he'd end him if he ever saw him again. The tension was off the charts. Kevin and Wes, who plays Jamie, killed it with their performances. And do you remember the season 3 finale of Yellowstone? The World is Purple. It was so intense, like watching a car crash in slow motion. Someone seriously headed out for the Dutton family, and they went all out. John, Casey, and Beth were all in the crosshairs. So, there was Beth, minding her own business in her office at Schwartz & Meyer when a package arrived. She opens it, and there's this creepy note. "I hope you like flowers." Before she even has time to think, she realizes it's a bomb. She tries to warn her assistant, but it's too late. The whole place goes boom. Beth was all broken and bruised, but still kicking. Meanwhile, sweet Rip was off to pick up his love, Beth, for a trip to Montana. Then he gets this call from John, telling him someone's trying to wipe out the family and he needs to check on Beth and Casey. Rip calls Beth, but it's just ringing and ringing. He switches on the radio, and there it was, news of the explosion. Panic mode on, he raced to the scene. Getting there, it was like a war zone, and Rip wasn't wasting any time. He dodged past cops and firefighters, bolted through the ruins of what was once Beth's office, shouting her name. Finally, he found her, covered in blood and debris, but alive. Rip scooped her up, whispering sweet promises and dodging flames and falling stuff to get her out of there. He bundled her into his truck and raced to get her help. That moment was just wow. It showed us the depths of Rip's love and bravery for Beth. And can we talk about the cliffhanger? It kept us all glued to our seats, hungry for the next piece of the action-packed puzzle. Moving on to the juicy details of the third episode of the third season, An Acceptable Surrender. So, Monica and Tate were having a nice, peaceful horse ride on the ranch, when out of nowhere, this group of rowdy bikers crashed the party. They hopped the fence and rolled up like they owned the place, and boy were they rude. They started picking on Monica, making nasty comments, and just being downright mean. Monica tried to keep her cool, telling them to take a hike, but they weren't having it. The noise caught Casey's attention, and he raced over to see what was up. He saw those bikers bullying his family, and he stepped up. He told them to get lost or they'd regret it. But, oh no, they laughed it off and dared him to make a move. Casey didn't hold back. He threw punches and used his rifle, taking down those bullies one by one. He even shot one of their tires, which went boom! That got their attention real quick. Those bikers couldn't believe what hit them, and with tails between their legs, they skedaddled. Casey made it clear, come back, and they're done for. This scene let us see a whole new side of him, evolving from an unsure cowboy to a tough-as-nails leader. And then there's this totally jaw-dropping moment in Season 3, Episode 8 of Yellowstone. In I Killed a Man Today, we got all the deets on why Beth just can't stand Jamie. The drama was off the charts. Beth had just said yes to marrying Rip when she decided it was time to get all up in Jamie's face about the super nasty thing he did to her when she was carrying Rip's baby. She storms into his office, totally fuming, and lays it all out, accusing him of wrecking her life and stealing her shot at having a family. She let him know that she was onto his lie about the abortion and how he let them sterilize her without her even knowing. Jamie was all shocked and shaky when Beth showed up. He tried to say that he was just helping and didn't know what the clinic was really up to. He said he was young and dumb and just went with what the doc said about ending the pregnancy. He was practically on his knees, begging Beth to forgive him, saying he still loves her 'cause she's his sister. But Beth, she was having none of it. She shot down Jamie's sorry excuses, telling him he was no brother of hers and he was less than nothing to her. She called him a scaredy cat and a backstabber who smashed her dreams and her trust. She promised to make him suffer and turn his life into a nightmare. She left him crying, telling him he was dead to her. This moment was a real game changer. It dug deep into the bad blood between Beth and Jamie, showing us all the hurt and hate they have for each other. It's time for the scoop on Rip Wheeler and Beth Dutton from Yellowstone. These two, it's been a ride of wild love and heartaches since they were kids. In Season 3, after a brush with death, Rip decided it was time to put a ring on it. He went to a graveyard, yes, a graveyard, and dug up his mom's grave. He pulled off her wedding ring and wiped it clean. Next thing, he was at the ranch, spilling his feelings to Beth in her office. He told her he wanted her for life, showed her the ring, and spilled the beans about it belonging to his mom, who was killed by his dad when he was just a little kid. He never thought he'd give it to anyone, but there he was, offering it to Beth. He popped the question, and she was all in. They sealed the deal with a kiss and a hug, and he slid the ring on her finger. Watching this moment was like riding a roller coaster of emotions. And talk about leaving us hanging, Beth's office got blown up right after by some mystery enemy. And we can't forget the Season 2 finale of Yellowstone. So, Tate, the sweet son of Casey and Monica Dutton, was snatched by these nasty guys, Malcolm and Teal Beck, because of some big casino beef with the Duttons. And these dudes handed Tate over to some seriously bad guys to be hidden away in a creepy cabin. So here's the dish. John Dutton, the big boss of the family and Tate's granddad, brought together a team of his kin and his ranch buddies, including Chief Rainwater and Mo, to crash Tate's grim hideaway. They got their hands on the location thanks to Casey giving Teal a one-way ticket to the afterlife in his own bathroom. The showdown at the cabin was nail-biting, bullets flying everywhere until John found poor Tate, all beaten up and scared. There were hugs and I love yous before whisking him back to the ranch where Monica was waiting, shedding tears of joy seeing her boy alive. It was the emotional peak of the whole Dutton-Beck disaster, filled with tension, drama, and a bit of sweet revenge. Now, weren't those moments just a wild ride? Yellowstone sure knows how to keep us on the edge of our seats. Which one of these did you like the most? Let us know in the comments and make sure to subscribe for more.